Hello, and welcome to this very short video, which is just behind the scenes of the Mindset Coach Academy, really how our certification process works. My name is Lindsay Wilson, the founder of Positive Performance and the Mindset Coach Academy. The Mindset Coach Academy is a 4-month dual certification program, and you will graduate with 2 different certifications. One is you will be a Positive Performance Certified Mindset Coach, and you'll be a Performance Visualization Specialist, all within that 4 months. Real quick, I want to talk about who actually gets in through our application process and who is successful. That's the same people. We want people to come in that are going to be successful. One is some sort of sports background. You don't have to have played at the highest level in the world, but you do have to have some sports background. And what I mean by like a sports mindset is like you're just an athlete, you're a coach, you see the world through a sports mindset. That's how our community operates. That's who's going to get in. We would like for you to have an existing network. This will expedite your ability to work with coaches, teams, and athletes faster. It is not necessarily a prerequisite. You could be building your network, but it's going to happen a lot faster if you have an existing network to tap into. Obviously, a passion for helping young people grow. Most people do not apply if they don't have this, but just want to make sure that you do because that is a big part of why we are all here. Willing to grow yourself through your business, not just grow in a general personal growth standpoint, but having a growth mentality with business, meaning things that maybe you don't even really necessarily like or know how to do on day one, like sales or marketing. If you have a growth mentality with actually learning those things, we will teach them to you, but you have to be wanting to learn and grow in that area. And realistic expectations and big goals. And what I mean by that is we want you to have big, big goals. And we want you to have realistic expectations for how long it's going to take so that you right size your expectations. You know what you're working on in the 4 months so that you can then build on that and grow to those bigger goals. All right, I'm going to break down our 4-month, 3-phase process. We've been doing this for a really long time. These 3 phases are, regardless of where you're going to go to get certified, if they don't have these 3 phases, you're missing something. And I will tell you that most do not. Phase 1 is you're sitting in the student chair and you are learning about mental performance training for yourself as a human with a human brain. Phase 2 is the craft and art of coaching, the skill of coaching. We're going to teach it to you all in that phase 2. And phase 3 is what takes you from hobby status to having a real business, all the things having to do with business. Let's break it down. Phase 1 is really, really important. And I would say this is the piece that a lot of people miss. And I would say it's maybe the most impactful piece of the 4-month certification and maybe even the most unexpected. But essentially, you're sitting in the student chair. You are learning the mental performance training tools for yourself. Here's why. Authenticity in what you teach. This is something we believe in. We believe that it's the right way to do things. It's teaching and coaching and selling with integrity. That's the first reason. The second thing is being able to manage your mindset will be one of the most important factors in you building your business. And that's really what we work on in phase 1. You being able to manage yourself. The things that you're going to be teaching your athletes, we want you to do yourself. You cannot confidently sell tools you haven't lived. Most people can't, at least, unless you're just, I don't know, love selling anything under the sun, which most people don't. You cannot confidently sell tools you haven't lived. And we want you to be so confident in it because even if you haven't worked with a ton of clients, and that's probably how it's going to be in the beginning, you've lived it and you have such confidence in the tools because you have seen how they've impacted your life first. Really important part of what we do. Phase 2 is learning the craft of coaching. You are going to learn performance visualization specialist. No one teaches visualization the way that we do. We have a very specific way that we teach it. You're going to learn our 6-step method, the mental game plan, which is an amazing curriculum. It took us 20 years to develop. You're going to learn it and start using it immediately in phase 2. This is a huge thing, guys, because there's so much information out there. We give you a curated system that you can follow. Everything you need, nothing you don't, so you can start coaching fast. The whole purpose of phase 2 is to learn the skills that you're going to be coaching, which is all in the mental game plan framework. To practice the performance visualization specialist training, which again, the way that we teach it is very keyed in on performance and competition. It is a universal, we call it a superpower that you can use with any challenge any client brings to the table, but the way that we teach it definitely has a competition angle to it. This is also where practicum begins, where you are going to be getting the reps. Coaching is a skill. It is a practice. It's not just information. You have to be practicing this stuff and iterating it and doing it in community with accountability, with a plan, with ways to improve every week. That's what we're doing in phase 2 so you can get really good at coaching. None of this stuff matters if you don't get good at coaching, right? If you're not good at coaching, you're not gonna be able to sell coaching. You're not gonna be successful as a mental performance coach. So we really want to make sure that you get the reps in community with our coaching, with our feedback, so you get really, really good at coaching. Again, knowing a bunch of random mindset tools and coaching someone through change are not the same thing. You can learn the tools and not really know how to coach, okay? We're focused on coaching. And I want to just remind you that one of the coolest things about our program, it is not a DIY. We're going to throw it over the wall and you're just going to like digest what we've shown you. It is a community. You are never alone. You are doing it with other like-minded individuals that are as passionate about it as you are, that are into sports, that believe in the transformational power of sports, that are in this for the right reasons, and also are trying to build businesses and push themselves to new levels. You're going to be doing that in small group. You're going to be doing it with me. You're going to be doing it in our larger group, and you're going to be doing it with our captains, which I'll talk about in a second. Finally, in phase 3, this is where the rubber meets the road. You are going to learn how to take your hobby and passion and turn it into a business, okay? You're going to have a system to attract and convert those opportunities that you've been building up with your networking and your coaching and your working on yourself. You're going to have those opportunities and you're going to be able to convert them. This is pricing, packaging, marketing, selling. Again, rubber meets the road. That is what a business is. And we are going to teach you how to do that in a very systematic way that is not overwhelming, that is bite-sized. And regardless of what you're coming into the program with, as far as business experience or sales experience or marketing experience, we are going to teach you how to do it. And the purpose of this phase, of phase 3, is moving from hobby to having a real business, period. That is what we do. And again, no matter where you are, where you're starting from, we're going to hold your hand. There's a lot in the 4 months, but we are going to be there with you every step of the way. And what I can promise you is we are going to teach you how to get your first paid client within 4 months. Now, some people go far and beyond that. Some people, that is just enough. But in 4 months is fast. You're going to be learning a lot in 4 months. And if you don't have any business experience, getting your first client in that time is monumental, because here's the thing. Once you get your first client, you can get your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, and you're going to be able to do it faster and easier and better. We want to focus on you getting the skills, because once you have your first paid client, gosh, that means you know how to market. That means you know how to sell. That means you have an offer. That means you know how to deliver. All of the things that take you from hobby to real business happens with that first paid client. We are also going to make sure that you are prepared. You're going to have, again, the mental game plan. You're going to have online access to all of our courses, to our calls, to our replays. We have workshops that are going to teach you step by step. We have a workbook. It is all delivered step by step. You are not going to be guessing. We have it all laid out over the 16 weeks. Here's the time commitment. I know that's a big issue. A lot of people work, okay? A lot of people work. A lot of people have kids. A lot of people have life happening, and they join the certification. Generally, it's about 2 to 4 hours per week on average. That includes one main call for an hour and one breakout call every week. The times for the main call are 10 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. The breakout calls, we have multiple options and various options, because we want it to be able to work with people's different work schedules and different time zones. And then you have this flexible coursework. And what I will tell you with the business growth and the coursework that you're going to be doing, I don't call it homework because it's not busy work. What we're going to be teaching you is phase 1, you're going to have some work to do on yourself and paying attention to your own thoughts, some personal growth work. Phase 2 is really about learning and then practicing. So you're going to be getting practice clients pretty early on and getting those reps. And then phase 3 is all about building your business. So it's not busy work. We don't have any quizzes. Everything is designed for you to get you 2 things. Get good at coaching. Get good at talking about that coaching, which is marketing and selling. All of our work is designed for that. So at the end, all the work you've been doing has been building the foundation of your business. And again, what I will tell you is that almost everybody without fail in our groups in the past, almost everybody has a day job. Almost everybody has other responsibilities. Tons of people have kids and tons of people are coaching. And so I get it. Time commitment is a thing, but I will just tell you that it's very flexible and we do keep you on track, but most people find it to be manageable. The other cool thing is you get lifetime access to all of the coursework. So you can go back and do things. Again, we're going to keep you on a steady pace. And that's part of why being in a cohort is so valuable, is because if it is a DIY course, it's really easy to get lost. It's really easy for life to take over and for you to deprioritize this. We're going to keep you on track in a manageable way. I also mentioned our captains. We bring back, so when people graduate the certification, they get to join what we call the Insider Mastermind. You don't have to make a decision on this right now, but I do like people to know that we have a follow-up program, which is a weekly mastermind where people are building businesses. This is Bianca. We have many people in that insider program, and we call them captains when they come back and they coach in the certification. So they're graduates of MCA building their own mental performance coaching businesses in our Insider Mastermind. They come back and they coach. They are the captains of the breakout groups. So again, you have one call a week, Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then you have one breakout group and you stay with those like 6 to 7 people and your captain throughout the 16 weeks. And you guys, people love the breakout groups because here's what happens, right? You do get overwhelmed, of course, right? There's a lot coming at you. We're teaching things fast. We have the call on Thursday, for example, and you're like, okay, I'm getting it, I'm picking up. And then, by Friday, you're like, oh my God, I have like 1 million questions now. And so you have your breakout group, maybe on Friday or maybe Monday, Tuesday, what have you. There's different ones to choose from. And you have that group, and that group not only answers questions, but the captain is someone that's building their own mental performance coaching business in real time and has sat in your seat, gone through the certification, had the doubts, had the blocks, had the moment when they wondered if they could do it at all. And so they've lived what you're doing. And so they're a great resource. And all the questions you have, like, well, where'd you get your first client? And, I don't know how should I approach this person that I know, or I'm feeling weird about selling to this people, or I know this club team over here and I don't know how to approach the person that runs it, or how does that conversation look like? What should my pricing be like? I'm feeling overwhelmed because life is going crazy. You have that group, that little team, if you will, to keep you on track, led by an amazing captain. You guys, the small groups, it's a lot of people's favorite piece of the certification. And again, I think it's what distinguishes us from other programs out there that frankly could be cheaper than what we offer, but you don't have that accountability, that camaraderie, that group. And let me just tell you, everybody that comes through our certification it's a curated group, right? We have an application process. Not everybody gets in. So if you get in, you're around people that also got in, right? And these people are athletes, coaches, like people that are into sports, that are positive, they're coaches that support other people. And we just kind of had a mentality around here of like, yes, we're competitive in that we're going to push ourselves, but we believe in the rising tide lifts all boats. So people are helping people. People are coaching each other. People are sharing resources. They're sharing their pricing sheets. Like people help each other in our communities, and you will get that. I just said all that about our community, but that is like such a piece of the certification that I think is so valuable and just an amazing piece that I think a lot of people come into our certification also and don't realize that they're missing that in their life. And then they find this group, and this is us at our retreat. So many of our coaches graduate and they stay in touch with their small group, in particular, their bigger cohort also, but their small group in particular, and their captains, and they get this really life-changing experience with community. Okay, so if you want clarity, you're interested in joining our certification, you want clarity, structure, and support to build the mental performance coaching business that you've been dreaming about, the next step is below. I hope you take action. I cannot wait to see your application come through and see you in our next cohort of the Mindset Coach Academy.